WTMA.
Now, here's more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA.
Welcome back, folks, to the last few minutes of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. So I want to finish this show by just talking a little bit about getting prepared as best as you can to react either when the right property hits the market or when you have your property on the market and you receive an offer. All right. Now, again, just as a quick caveat, if you want to reach out to me, you want to talk about working together with me as your real estate agent, I'd love the opportunity to do that. See if I might be able to help. My number is 843-800-0065. That's 843-800-0065. Or go to listingsincharleston.com and remember to ask about the incentive we're running this month of May, about 25% off our premier listing package. So let's talk a little bit about the process of getting ready to make a quick decision with these last few minutes of the show. As a buyer, first thing, I don't want you to feel rushed, but it's kind of necessary in some instances. You're going to have to make some quick decisions when you walk through a house that you really like, that's priced well, in good condition, marketed well, because there's a bunch of other folks that are looking at the same thing that may be prepared to make a quick decision. So the first thing is get pre-approved. Get all of your documentation in order. Tax returns, bank statements, pay stubs, so on and so forth. The next step is to you can either approach the process of buying your house through a process of elimination or a process of selection. Some folks know exactly what they want. They walk into 1 to 3 homes, and by the end of that, they have a house that they have bought. Other people need to feel comfortable knowing what they want by first understanding and seeing what they don't want, right? They like to check things off the list rather than add things to the list, or that's how they add things to the list. But either way, you need to get a good understanding of what you're really looking for. And then you need to have a conversation with a real estate agent to truly understand the market. How likely is it that what you want and would be willing to purchase is going to be available, either now or at some point in the near future? Now, there might not be anything at this particular moment that fits your criteria, but we as agents can look back at what's sold over the past 3, 6, 12 months and say, all right, well, would any of these homes been the one that you would have made an offer on? If the answer is yes, then it's reasonable to believe that something else similar to that will be coming on the market in the near future. I think it's also incredibly important to work with an agent that has availability. Just because you've done everything on your end and you've gotten pre-approved, you've gotten your tax returns, bank statements, pay stubs, all that in line, order, ready to go. You've got your letter from your lender saying, hey, if you find something at or below this price point, go for it. You're pre-approved. Well, if that right house hits the market, but your agent can't show it for the next 2 days, that's a problem. So you need to make sure you're working with an agent that has enough time to actually work for you. And that can run quick comps and can write a quick offer. If this is this agent's first time, it's going to take them a while to figure out what that house is actually worth. It doesn't matter what the seller's asking. We need to figure out what it's worth. There's a process associated with that. Same thing with writing a contract. I can bang out a contract in 5 minutes. Some agents, it'll take them half a day because they don't know what they don't know yet. They have to construct it. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Everyone's got to start somewhere. But if you're under the gun and you see the perfect home, just understand that might be a hindrance. I think you also need to understand the seller's position, right? Why are they selling? How quickly would they like to sell? Do they want to stay for a little while? Would you entertain a lease back? There's a bunch of different ways that you can structure deals, but you're not going to know unless you ask or your agent asks and figures out what that seller wants so that we can kind of incorporate that into the deal. And then lastly, make an offer that's good enough for them to respond to with a short expiration date. All right. You can lowball if you want, but if you frustrate that seller and they become emotionally supercharged, the chance of you coming back to the table and making a deal is going to be a challenge. I'm just telling you now. Now, as a seller, you need to understand what your options are when that offer is made, right? Is this the only buyer? Are others interested? Have there been other showings? Are other people talking about making an offer? Can you use that offer as leverage to get another offer is the bottom line there. And then what about the price? Have you and your agent had an honest conversation about how much your home will realistically sell for? Is this as good as you can do? Or should we wait and should we see what else is out there? Or again, should we use that offer to try and get more better offers and drive up the price? Now, you might be listening. You might be a buyer that's had that happen to you. And you're like, you have some feelings about that. Well, here's the deal. I was hired to get the seller the most money possible. And it is not unethical to tell other people that someone's made an offer or is interested. Because my job is to get the seller the most money possible. And then last is just know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Know when to take the deal and stop negotiating and know when to press further. Now, if you'd like more information on negotiating, you want to work with me to help sell your home, you're interested in our incentives, give me a call, 843-800-0065. That's 843-800-0065. Or check us out online at listingsincharleston.com. You guys enjoy your weekend. Thanks for listening to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show.
Join us for another edition of the Brian Beatty